to consider amending the zoning code to permit boarding houses in industrial districts through the conditional use process to create section 255-41.G. There we go. A notice of this public hearing has been posted. And at this time, we invite public comment. Does anyone here wish to comment on this proposed change? Please approach the lectern, state your name, and
Good
your
evening,
address, please.
Mr. Mayor and City Council. My name is Tom Hennis. I'm the Executive Director of Open Door Rescue Mission Startup. And we're looking at the old Bear Buddies building on Beaudry Drive to establish a residential rehabilitation facility for women and for women with children. There's a need in our community that's not real visible to the public eye. And I am volunteer chaplain at the St. Croix County Jail. I've been there about 3 years now. And I've seen a need for a facility in Hudson here. And we have women that, number one, won't get help because they're afraid of being separated from their children. And number two is that they have a difficult time when we're looking to have a facility that will provide a place of rehabilitation for them and a safe place for their children. And we believe that the Bear Buddies building in that location would provide for that with the fenced-in yard. And we intend to have a security system on there with cameras and so forth. And we would appreciate your consideration of the zoning change to allow us into that place.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone else wish to speak on this item?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. My name is Gary Stewart. I run the Hope Gospel Mission in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and I'm also the mentor working with Tom and Barb in regard to their looking at the mission or this work over here in Hudson. We run a homeless shelter in a sense, or a mission over there in Eau Claire, both a men's shelter and also a women's shelter. We've been in existence now going on 10 years. We see that there's a great need for this type of work in this area, a more holistic approach of mind, body, and spirit when it comes to these areas of working with the needy out there. Again, we have been around for a long time. We also are affiliated through the Association of Gospel Rescue Missions, a 94-year-old organization, a national organization that works with missions across the United States and around the world doing this type of work of rescue, as we call it. We feel that this would be a very important thing for this area to see this take place. Working with Tom and Barb in this area, we feel that this could be an effective work to, again, change women and children's lives over in the Hudson area here. And so we would support that and want to work with them in the future in regard to this location and filling that need as well.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak about the proposed amendment? Yes. Diane first.
Good evening. I'm Diane Yoakum, and I am the partner of Hudson Child Care Associates and also the administrator of Bear Buddies Child Development Center. Hudson Child Care Associates actually owns the property on Beaudry Boulevard. When we were established some 19 years ago, if you can believe that, we built the facility in the industrial park thinking it would add to the community and offer something special to the community through child care services and early childhood education. We have recently moved our operations to our new location up on Heiser Street and combined the two locations. One of the things I'm interested in is having this building, because of its originality, to service the community, is have something in there that would be a service to the community, not just another office building. And so I'm supporting this operation that would be a service to the community and the families that are in need of shelter and assistance in getting their lives back on track. So if you have any questions about the building or anything, I'd be glad to answer those.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak on the proposed amendment? Penny?
There were 2 letters received, one from St. Croix County Department of Health and Human Services Health Center from Stephen J. Kurt, Behavioral Health Clinical Services Supervisor, then also from Joan Sprain, Family Life Educator with the St. Croix County Jail and Drug Court Programs. Those should be entered into the record. I do want to remind the Common Council this is a generic consideration, not a specific consideration to the proposal by Mr. Hennis. What's before the Common Council tonight is to modify or change or amend the zoning classifications to allow boarding houses in, and then if the Common Council either tonight or at the next meeting would decide that to approve that, then they would have to go through the conditional use application. So please be reminded, this is a generic. This is not, you're not deciding on a proposal by Mr. Hennis tonight. You're deciding, or next meeting, depending if you want to have first reading, you're deciding where the zoning code should be amended to allow boarding houses in industrial district, which currently it does not.
Thank you.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Denny, in here it says boarding houses for non-profit use only. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Would anyone else like to speak to us on the proposed amendment? Is there anyone else who would like to speak tonight during this hearing?
Move to close the hearing.
We have a motion to close the hearing.
Second.
Second. Any discussion on that motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. This hearing is closed. This time I'd like to call the meeting of the Common Council for May 19th, 2008 to order. Will you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Will you call the roll, please?
Mayor Knudsen?
Here.
District 1 Morset?
Here.
2 Brokaw? Here. 3 Bernard? Here. 4 Wyland?
Here.
5 O'Malley?
Here.
6 Burchell?
Here.
Technical problems. All right, thank you. At this time, we take comments and suggestions from citizens present. At the beginning of the meeting, we'll take comments on any item that is not listed on our meeting agenda. If you have comments on an item that is listed on our meeting agenda, I'd ask that you let me know that now, and then we'll let you speak to it at the time of the item. So all you have to do is raise your hand and say, yes, there's something on the agenda. Or do you want to talk about the library piece? Do you want to wait until then? Or do you, yep, okay. Anyone else have comments? Okay, so we'll take your comments at that time. Anyone have comments or suggestions on an item that is not on our agenda tonight, or something that you want to be on a future agenda, something of that nature? No? Okay. Let's move on to item number 4, consent agenda. Would you read the consent agenda for us?
To approve the regular meeting minutes of May 5th, 2008. To approve claims for payment in the amount of $309,521.73. A detailed description is available in the clerk's office on request. To approve barricading 4th Street between St. Croix Street and River Street on Friday, May 30th, 2008 from 3:45 p.m. to 9 p.m. for the St. Patrick's Annual Summer Send-Off Picnic. To approve the request of Final Stretch Incorporated to conduct the Gopher to Badger race on August 9th, 2008, and a triathlon on August 30th and 31st, 2008. To approve the request of Marine Max to use Lakefront Park and the Dyke Road Beach for the Aquapalooza event on July 26, 2008, with the band shell reserved as backup in case of inclement weather. To approve the use of the boat launch area in Lakefront Park for the Full Throttle Outdoor Fishing Tournament to be held Saturday, September 6, 2008. To place on file the reports of the Community Development Director, Police Chief, and Water Utility Director, and the Public Utility Commission minutes of May 13, 2008, and the Joint Library Board minutes of May 12, 2008. That is all.
Thank you. What's your pleasure on the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve and a second. Any discussion? No discussion, I guess. Roll call vote.
Morset?
Yes.
O'Malley?
Yes.
Wyland?
Yes.
Burchell?
Yes.
Bernard?
Yes.
Brokaw?
Yes.
Consent agenda stands approved. Next item on our agenda will be Finance Committee applications for operators licenses.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to recuse myself from item 3 and 4.
You're recused.
I'd like to recuse myself from item 4, please.
You note that. Recused from item 4 for that one. Okay, Finance Committee reviewed the staff recommendation for the applications for operators licenses. The staff recommendation was that we should approve the issuance of the operators licenses for the period from May 16th, 2008 to June 30th, 2009 for Stephanie Brown, Jill Duran, Chad Nyland, and Ruth Peterson, and the issuance of a temporary operator's license for the period July 3 to July 5, 2008 for Hudson Booster Days for John Herink, and to deny issuance of an operator's license to Krista Cadalbert as recommended by the Chief of Police.
They were separate motions?
They were separate motions.
Separate recommendations,
So
we
what-
should do a separate.
Yeah, okay, so we split this into two separate items. We did the approvals as one item, and we, as the Finance Committee, there was a motion on the denial as a separate motion. With that, Chief Jensen, would you like to speak to the process here? Tell us what the process is in making the staff recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Basically, what we do is we do an employment criminal history check to check their backgrounds, and they also do a check in regards to any violations in regards to alcohol, which will come up on their driving record. Recommendation from my staff in doing backgrounds was the people that you had named before should be approved. Obviously, I'm just going to use Krista's first name. Came up with some history, alcohol related, within the last 5 years of 3 known situations that brought me concern that she would not be a good candidate to have an operator's license, so that's why I'm recommending denial.
So, I know we have further discussion, but at this time, the Finance Committee recommends approval of the list that I read. It'd be appropriate for us to have a motion for approval of those.
I'll move to approve, Mr. Mayor.
We have a motion to approve
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion is approved. And then the Finance Committee recommended denial issuance of an operator's license for Krista Cadalbert as recommended by the Chief of Police.
You may want to just say something before the motion.
Krista, anyone who'd like to speak to this from the audience, this would be the time if you'd approach the microphone over here and give us your name and address.
I'm Krista Albert. I'm from 708 Hudson, or Crosby Drive, Hudson, Wisconsin. I just wanted to say that I've made bad decisions and I've paid my consequences. And I've been going to the school I've been attending Century for the past year, and I'm transferring to Herzing next September. And I'm paying for college myself. And working at Dairy Queen doesn't cut it. And I got the job at Pudge's, but you're required to have a serving license to work there. And so I was just hoping that you guys could look again, and it would really, really help me out to get the job because it would make a lot more money for me. So thank you for listening.
Thank you. Any questions, anyone for Krista? Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to speak on this item before we take action?
Hi, I'm Michelle Frost. I'm Krista's mother. So speaking as a mother, I would have to say that, yes, I was very disappointed when these situations came about, but I do have to say that Krista has done remarkable. I didn't give her a penny for anything. She's worked hard. She's paid her fines. She's been working or been home. She's changed her friends, and we've gone to some Mothers Against Drunk Driving things, and I think the impact was, I think that was enough, for her, and she's really trying hard to pay for school, and it would just work out with her hours, and I believe that she is responsible enough for that. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak before we take action? Floor is open for a motion.
I'd like to hear from Marty again.
Yes, sir.
Just kind of going over the past history and how you came to the recommendation. Any additional thoughts you may have?
Well, the only reason that basically based on the denial was on the alcohol relation. Obviously, her being under 21 years of age, her having 2 underage alcohol violations plus the DWI within that 5-year period gives me concern for a person to be serving alcohol to people that are supposed to be of age. My concern is that maybe, not knowing her past history other than what I can get from the driver's license examiners or the DL examiners, gives me concern that this might continue on in serving alcohol to other people. I did not sit down and have a conversation with her or anyone else. Obviously, we just have to go off the information we get from doing our background.
I'm going to move to ratify the denial of this application.
We have a motion to deny the application. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion's been seconded. Is there any further discussion, questions?
Yes, I'd like to make a comment to Krista. I applaud what you are doing at Century College. I think you're definitely taking the right steps. And if the wrong steps were not so recent, they're just a year ago, and there have been 4 of them over the past several years, as the Chief of Police pointed out, I might be able to take a different tack on this, but I think that there is, you've started the maturing process. I think that's wonderful, and please continue that. And it sounds, your mother said a very important thing, you've changed your friends, and I think that's a great, great step to take. Please continue to do that and come back to us at a future date, okay?
Further discussion? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion passes. Next item then is annual renewal of alcoholic beverage licenses for the period July 1st, 2008 to June 30th, 2009. The Finance Committee recommended that, well, let me point out that after your packet went out, the application from Bordenave Land Holdings LLC, doing business as Bricks Neapolitan Pizza, had an outstanding debt which has since been satisfied, and so the staff recommendation at this point is that that one, which was in the group on the last page, that we would be postponing, that one be moved into the proposed approvals. And then there are two other groups, those that are waiting for a Wisconsin seller's permit, and a group of three that have outstanding debts. The staff proposal is that those be postponed until the needed information or permitting or payment happens, and that the other list is approved. Questions about what the Finance Committee and staff recommendation is? We're ready for a motion.
Move to approve the appropriate licenses for those establishments listed on pages 1 and 2, and to include from page 3 Bordenave Land Holdings.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussions? We have two recusals here. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item on our agenda comes from the Finance Committee, and the proposal was that we would form a committee to meet with health insurance consultants and brokers. That's what we listed on our agenda item. What the Finance Committee decided to do was to meet with the entire Finance Committee and Devon, that we would first mail a request for proposal to all known providers of this kind of service, and to advertise in the metro area newspaper, with the intention that we would do the interviews and come back at our next council meeting with a recommendation. The idea here is that we need to find out if we can save some money on our health insurance. And we're with the state plan right now, and it's very expensive, and we're hoping that we can find some alternatives that save us money. And so the Finance Committee recommends that they be authorized to do that advertising and to come back with and to do interviewing and come back with a proposed either consultant or broker at the next meeting.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Okay, the next item is Resolution 6-08, a resolution authorizing the City of Hudson to borrow the sum of $1,940,000 by issuing general obligation promissory notes pursuant to Section 67 of the Wisconsin State Statutes, and authorizing sale of the notes. We got some great news this week, and Sean Lentz is here to tell about it.
Thank you, Mayor. Just make sure everybody's going to be with the handout that was sent over earlier today. Great. I'll go through that. And as the Mayor alluded to, starting with last week, we got some very good news related to the bond rating of the City of Hudson. And in the packet that was given to you today, if you go to the last 3 pages, maybe we can start there. The city has carried a municipal bond rating for a number of years, and the bond rating, just to give you a little bit background on it, the scale that's used by Moody's Investor Service, the top of the line, and some of you are probably familiar with this, is a AAA rating. And from there, you go to the AA scale, AA 1, 2, 3, and then A 1, 2, 3, and then beyond that, you get into lower rated or lower rating scale portions. And the city has gradually moved upward, which is the right direction to move in the rating scale over a number of years, originally at the A to A3 level, jumping up to an A1 level. And we had a conference call, as we always do when the city is looking to secure financing with Moody's Investor Service Wednesday last week. I was involved, the mayor was involved, Devin, Betty, Denny, and Steve Tracy, the city's auditor, were all involved. We had about an hour and a half conversation with Moody's. And the long and short of it, they decided to upgrade the city from their A1 rating to a AA3 rating, which is a fantastic rating. There are approximately 28 communities currently in the state of Wisconsin that have a AA3, and I think it's 7 or 8 counties. St. Croix County is a AA3 rated county right now. So it really reflects a number of the things that are going on with the city. Some are in your control as a city in terms of policies and actions that you take, and some are not. Your location is a big benefit. Your wealth indices of the community is strong. But other factors, particularly the fact that the city has maintained and actually grown a very solid fund balance that shows a lot of financial planning, wherewithal, and liquidity, those factors really play into getting to a rating level like this and maintaining it in the future. So I congratulate the city on that. It was a very good discussion, and again, it really speaks to the work that the city has done in the past, and Moody's is very confident that you will also do